Good evening and welcome to California Today. I'm Daniel Hall, sitting in for Lang Zhang. Here's a preview of some of the great stories we've got ready for you tonight. Police are probing the leak of an audio recording of members of the LA City Council. The investigation won't be into the content of the meeting, but if someone illegally recorded it. Google's revenue has been consistently going down recently. We'll look at what's going on at the tech giant. The Los Angeles police are officially investigating the city council recording that has led to 2 officials resigning. The audio may have been recorded illegally.
Police Chief Michael Moore said Tuesday that Los Angeles detectives are investigating whether a recording last year, which captured city council members speaking disparagingly of others, was made illegally.
Has initiated a criminal investigation into an allegation of eavesdropping relative to the LA Fed meeting involving then councilperson Nuri Martinez, council member Gil Cedillos, and council member Kevin De Leon, and the Fed president, Mr. Herrera. Our Major Crimes Division is conducting that, and we will bring our results to the appropriate prosecuting agency upon completion of that investigation.
The uproar began with a previously unknown recording of an October 2021 private meeting involving the 4 officials. It was leaked earlier this month, just weeks before Election Day. The recording of the closed-door meeting revealed that offensive language was used to mock colleagues while they planned to protect Latino political strength in council districts. It's not known who made the tape or why. Under California law, all parties must consent to the recording of a private conversation or phone call. Otherwise, the person who made the recording could face criminal and civil penalties. Martinez, De Leon, Cedillo, and Herrera approached the Los Angeles Police Department on Friday and asked for the agency to open an investigation.
The department immediately dispatched detectives to conduct recorded interviews of the individuals, and our investigation will continue as to the facts and circumstances of how the meeting occurred, and information from the victims, why they believe that the recording was unlawful, and also understanding from them the assertion that it was not with their permission. We'll also look as far as possible to understand how such a recording was made, and to identify, if possible, the person or persons responsible.
Martinez resigned, while Cedillo and De Leon resisted widespread calls for them to step down. No suspects have been identified yet.
Last week, a United States District Court judge granted a preliminary injunction against Los Angeles County's pandemic lockdown-era eviction moratorium. This will require the county to end its policy that allowed residents to forgo paying rent on December 1st.
On October 19th, District Court Judge Dean Pregerson ruled against the Los Angeles County eviction moratorium that was enacted in response to pandemic lockdowns in 2020. The policy allowed residents to forgo paying rent. In the ruling, Pregerson granted the preliminary injunction based on the vagueness of the policy and the lack of specific standards for how to legally apply the moratorium. Back in March, the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles and the Apartment Owners Association of California had filed a lawsuit asking the judge to stop enforcement of the rent moratorium. They said the policy was, quote, unconstitutionally vague. According to a statement by Jeffrey Fowler, president of the Apartment Owners Association of California, many renters have been taking advantage of the situation. He says that as a result of the moratorium, many landlords have been unable to collect rent and have lost their properties to foreclosure or fire sales. Spokesman Jesus Ruiz told the Epic Times that the county is reviewing the court's decision and has no comments on ongoing legal matters.
Google revenues have declined, and sales growth at the firm has slowed for 5 consecutive quarters. NTD's Sean Marshall has more on what's happening at the tech giant.
Profits at Google parent company Alphabet Incorporated went down nearly 30% to $13.9 billion in the last quarter. YouTube ad revenues declined for the first time since the firm started to report them publicly. Lowered ad revenue could be showing us the effects of inflation with less revenue available to businesses. I spoke with Capture CEO Bob Bilbrook to find out what Google is doing wrong and what areas they could improve in.
I think their business model is a little bit antiquated now, and I think they're kind of stuck with that antiquated model because of the indirect search paradigm that they play in, right?
Bilbrook mentioned something that's probably happened to most of us. You search for an AMC movie theater and you get 5 different ads before you get the information you're actually looking for.
I think the Web 3 paradigm is really going to be a shift for them, and I'm not sure if they're prepared to address Web 3 completely. It'd be naive for me to think that, but they seem to be stuck kind of in this Web 2.0 world, which is indirect search, versus Web 3, which is direct search and more peer-to-peer data, coming across and being used by different people.
In Alphabet's recent earnings call, CEO Sundar Pichai went over the firm's future objectives.
Times like this are clarifying. As we head into 2023, we are going to focus on our most important priorities as a company. To support our growth, we'll continue to invest responsibly for the long term in a way that is responsive to the current economic environment.
So what is Google doing right? Where does their future look bright?
Google has their fingers in a lot of different pies. One of the things that I know they're working on is, autonomous vehicles, and some of the delivery stuff around those areas. So I think some of that stuff is where they see emerging markets away from the verticals that they may be, squarely in what we would call search marketing.
In there. After reporting earnings and revenue that missed expectations, Alphabet said on Tuesday that it would slow hiring and control expenses, preparing for hurdles the economy might bring. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
A state university is no longer sending student teachers to a certain school district. That's after the district banned critical race theory and its tenets.
California State University Fullerton, or CSUF, puts a pause on sending student teachers to Placentia Yorba Linda School Unified due to its ban on critical race theory, or CRT. The district became the first in Orange County to ban CRT when the school board voted 3-2 in April to ban the content. In a letter to the district last week, CSUF officials reiterated its mission, quote, to cultivate educators who are prepared to provide just, equitable, and inclusive education. That came as justification to their restriction. The university usually places around 80 student teachers in the district each academic year. Currently, there are only 6, whom the university said it is committed to, quote, support toward program completion. A biology major sophomore at CSUF named Lauren Hofreiter is native to the city of Placentia and plans to teach for the district once graduated. She told Epic Times that she disagreed with the university's decision and is worried about how this could affect her future plans. Hofreiter said, quote, student teachers should be able to make the distinction themselves and decide based on personal relevance and morals whether they want to teach in the district despite the ban. Any school that encourages diversity of opinion has no place forcing its misinformed views on its students. Dr. Michael D. Matthews, superintendent of the school district, expressed disappointment about the decision in his letter to the university, but said the district looks forward to continuing the discussion with CSUF. The university credentials the largest number of teachers in any public school in California and has a long-standing relationship with many Orange County school districts. Several teachers and staff members from Placentia Yorba Linda School District graduated from the university.
Speaking of schools, starting next year, California schools will have 10 years to build housing on their property with fewer restrictions. The goal is to make affordable housing for teachers, but not everyone is happy about the casual take on zoning. Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law last month allowing schools to bypass city or county zoning restrictions to build staff housing on district property. By introducing the bill, Democratic Assemblyman Richard Bloom hopes to make it easy for school districts to provide affordable housing to educators. Bloom said in a statement, "We are hemorrhaging talented teachers. The new law gives school districts an essential tool in addressing staffing challenges by utilizing properties they already own." Los Angeles Unified School District officials supported the bill, saying it may help recruit and retain teachers. But the cities of Chino, Thousand Oaks, and Santa Clarita opposed the state usurping local government's land use authority. Thousand Oaks officials also pointed out that the new law could change the character of the surrounding neighborhoods. The city said in a statement, with school properties often located in residential zones, there are concerns this law will impact the surrounding community and the immediate neighborhood with additional traffic, loss of playfields, and for some residents concerns about property values. The bill came after a UC Berkeley and University of Southern California study that showed the potential of adding 2 million housing units onto the 150 acres of land owned by the school districts throughout the state. The new law will be in effect for 10 years starting January 1st, 2023. A $38 million San Diego lottery ticket is set to expire on Thursday if no one claims it. A player bought the winning ticket from a 7-Eleven store in San Diego on April 30th earlier this year. The winner has 180 days from the date of their draw to claim their prize. If no one claims it, the cash value of $22.9 million will go to public schools in California in line with the lottery's mission. We're going to take a short break now, but we've got a lot of great stories ready for you when we come back. Amidst the drought, the state is planning to build a massive water reservoir. That's if enough money can be raised for it. A 3-star Michelin chef gave an exclusive view of cooking a certain kind of fish. That's after the species was banned from being exported to a major Asian consumer. And the Rose Queen has been crowned. That's for the upcoming Rose Parade in Southern California. We'll have a look at who she is and what she had to say. That and more on California Today. The state is planning to build a huge reservoir to address water supply shortages. Funding is nearly complete for the project.
A plan to build a giant reservoir with the natural Colusa County Valley is moving forward. When completed, the $4 billion Sites Reservoir would increase Northern California's reservoir water storage capacity by 15%. It will hold enough water to feed the needs of 5 million homes a year, or 500,000 acres of farmland. This huge, naturally occurring bowl was first identified by the California Department of Water Resources in the 1950s as a potential reservoir. Jerry Brown, executive director of the Sites Project Authority, told KTVU Fox 2 that California's serious drought conditions put the project into place. Funding of the project includes $1 billion from the federal government, $900 million from bond funds, as well as over $2 billion from the local water agencies, cities, and counties that should be finalized by 2024. The residents of the tiny community nestled in the valley support the project by leaving the valley. The primary opposition to sites is from environmentalists who said that the project will take too much water from the Sacramento River. But supporters said that water would only be taken in the rainy season and only when the water flow is very high, when much of that overflow ends up going out to sea. Actual construction would begin in 2025 and the reservoir would begin operations in 2031.
Speaking of the intense drought that the state's facing, California farmers are partnering with state-funded programs to conserve water. State-funded projects like the Delta Drought Response Pilot Project are helping farmers save water. Alex Wilson, a sixth-generation farmer, said he, quote, saw an email that had come out where the state was basically willing to pay a farmer not to irrigate. Wilson and his uncle applied and were accepted for the program, proposing to grow safflower. Safflower, used for vegetable oil, doesn't require irrigation to grow. Through the state program, the Wilson family planted the crop along the San Joaquin River Delta in Sacramento County. He was paid $900 per acre for 185 acres, yielding 277 tons. According to Michael George, the Delta Water Master for the California State Water Resources Control Board, the drought program appears to have been successful in improving water conditions. He told the Epic Times that the saved water added a buffer to the river, improving water quality in the Delta. According to California Water Watch, this year the state experienced another year of drought with dry months and a record-shattering heat wave. The state ended its water year on September 30th, receiving only 76% of average precipitation and sitting at 69% of water storage. According to researchers at the University of California, Merced, drought conditions last year cost the California agriculture sector about $1.1 billion and nearly 9,000 jobs. And according to statistics produced by the University of California, Davis, California's agricultural exports totaled $20.8 billion in 2020. That's a decrease of 4.1% from 2019. The recent monsoonal storms in Southern California blew a rare species of butterfly to Joshua Tree National Park. It's a first for the park and even for the state.
In early October, researchers found a rare species of butterfly called the white-patched skipper, or simply white patch, in Joshua Tree National Park. It is a first for the park and even California. Officials said this white-patched skipper is usually a Mexican species. The monsoonal storms blew it further north for the first recorded time this year. Joshua Tree National Park conducts its butterfly count several times every year. The count has observed 30 species, including the white-patched skipper.
It's one thing to cook a fish for a meal, but it's another when a top-tier chef does it. NTD's David Lam went to watch a 3-star Michelin chef showcase several dishes made from a Taiwanese fish. That fish may become more common now that its import is banned in a certain country.
Members of the media gathered on Tuesday at Alexander's Steakhouse in Cupertino, California, to hear from and get a taste of cooking done by French chef Claude Letohic. The main ingredient during the demonstration was the Taiwanese grouper.
I was very excited to get the grouper and did some recipe for you today. I did 3 recipes. The first one is a more French recipe.
Letohic's first interpretation was the pan-seared grouper in artichoke barragoule sauce. The grouper is one of Taiwan's popular exports. The Council of Agriculture Executive Yuan of Taiwan partnered with a 3-star Michelin chef. He's currently head chef at the French diner called 165 in San Francisco.
It's good, when you get new ingredient, of course, because you get the chance to experiment new things. That's the first time I see a thick skin like that on a fish.
He's been to Taiwan several times and said it was inspiring to see the different types of cuisine. While many cultures cook fish in cuts without bones, many Asian countries cook fish as a whole. His second dish is the grouper with black pepper sauce and baby spinach, which he enjoyed, calling it sophisticated. The event organizer, Katie Xie, who's also a food blogger, appreciates the culinary mixture.
Several layers of the flavor and compared with the other sauce, I think it's very different. I like the Thai curry and with the Taiwanese grouper. The flavor is complicated, but it's very well. Yeah.
Letohic tells NTD about the art behind his cooking.
It's a passion, If you don't like what you do, it's become very difficult. The cuisine, the result, it's all about the detail. If you pay attention of all detail, you're probably going to be a good cook. But if you don't pay attention to the detail, you will miss a lot of things that are important in the kitchen.
He shared a tip when cooking fish.
Just marinated your fish on the water, salt and then honey, just to a couple of hours, so your fish will be more moist, and then you will never overcook your fish.
Now, the French chef said he went through about 20 fishes before getting to the final 3, and this is one of them, a whole Taiwanese grouper, and it's seasoned with Asian curry sauce. David Lam, NTD News, California.
With the iconic Rose Parade fast approaching, the Rose Queen was announced on Tuesday. NTD's Jackie Rios went to find out who the lucky girl was.
Ladies and gentlemen, Queen Bella.
Bella Ballard was announced as the Rose Queen for the upcoming Rose Parade. The 17-year-old from Altadena hopes one day to play professional soccer, but for now, she'll have to settle for royalty.
How does it feel being crowned the queen and then with such an amazing princesses behind you?
It feels amazing. I couldn't do it without these amazing girls supporting me through everything. I think we're going to be an amazing court, and I can't wait for what comes.
The Tournament of Roses president crowned Bella Ballard as the 104th Rose Queen among 7 princesses. The other 6 princesses became part of the royal court and will also assist the Rose Queen on her royal duties and participate in over 100 events consisting of giving back to the community. She currently volunteers her time to the Ronald McDonald House Charities. And like all the princesses at her side, Ballard's charm was on display.
Definitely don't stop dreaming. I believe anything is really possible when you put your mind to it.
All Royal Court members received $7,500 in scholarships. The Queen and the Royal Court will participate in the 134th Rose Parade and attend the 109th Rose Bowl game, both held on Monday, January 2nd, with this year's Rose Parade theme being Turning the Corner.
Tonight was the night a Tournament of Roses Rose Queen was crowned. The coronation ceremony is one of Southern California's oldest traditions. Jackie Rios, NTD News, Pasadena, California.
Now we're going to take it over to NTD's Thomas Christian for your sports roundup.
I'm Thomas Christian, giving you the California Today Sports Roundup. LA Rams defensive lineman Aaron Donald and Boston Celtics guard Jaylen Brown on Tuesday announced they were terminating their relationships with Kanye West's sports marketing agency in light of the musician's recent viral remarks. On October 8th, West tweeted that he is, quote, going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Brown, who led the Celtics to the NBA Finals last season, on Monday told the Boston Globe he planned to stay with Donda Sports, but on Tuesday said he had a change of heart. He and Donald are the highest profile athletes associated with Donda Sports, which represents the athletes' interests outside the field and plays no part in negotiating their contracts with their teams, according to Yahoo Sports. West, who legally changed his name to simply Ye last year, could not be immediately reached for comment by Reuters. The multiple Grammy Award-winning artist has also been locked out of several social media accounts following anti-Semitic posts. Athletic apparel brand Adidas also terminated its partnership with West on Tuesday, a move that knocked the musician off the Forbes list of the world's billionaires. Devin Booker scored a game-high 34 points, Klay Thompson was ejected for the first time in his career, and the host Phoenix Suns pulled away during a volatile third quarter to thump the Golden State Warriors 134-105 on Tuesday. Even at the beginning of the game, Thompson and Booker had an ongoing war of words, and they were both finally assessed technical fouls for a verbal altercation midway through the third quarter. As players and coaches came together near midcourt during a timeout, Thompson was slapped with a second technical for continuing to jaw at the Phoenix team, earning him his first ejection in 796 NBA regular season and postseason games. Warriors head coach Steve Kerr also received a technical foul in the third quarter, as did Draymond Green, DeAndre Ayton, and Chris Paul. The Suns went on to end the third period on a 22-9 run, then coasted home in the fourth. Stephen Curry, who had 33 or more points in each of his first 3 games, paced Golden State with 21. Suns 134, Warriors 105. In a load management game for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, the young OKC Thunder looked like the veteran squad on the floor, playing against mostly Clippers backups. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 33 points to lead the Thunder over LA and to its first win of the season. Luke Kennard led the Clippers with 15 points off the bench. Ivica Zubac tallied 10 points, 14 rebounds, and 7 blocks. Thunder 108, Clippers 94. And that's all for the sports.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd love for you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-Today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm Daniel Hall, sitting in for Lang Jiang. Have a wonderful evening.